This is the Soundcore Motion X600, and it has two very unique features up its sleeve that set it apart from the competition. Let's start with build quality. This thing is quite literally built different. Featuring a metal build, this thing is elegant, stylish, and built like a tank. The built-in handle is non-removable to make carrying it easy. You might like it, or you might wish you could remove it. Either way, it's here to stay. It features two woofers, two tweeters, and one full-range driver. It has a row of nice, big, tactile buttons on the top. Volume and playback controls on the right, and on the left, power, connectivity, spatial audio, and the bass up button. More on the last two in a little bit. On the back side, we have a super high quality rubber flap which protects the 3.5mm jack and a USB-C charging input. I'm very happy that these two ports are present because on some other speakers, you might have USB-A or micro USB and they're just older, inefficient, and not as common these days. I absolutely love the inclusion of a 3.5mm jack on this speaker because it allows you to go analog if you so wish. I've been plugging it into my laptop and using it wired and it sounds great. And then on the bottom of the speaker, we have some nice gripping rubber feet so it doesn't slide. With that all metal build, you're getting an IPX7 water resistance rating, which means it is rated for a 30-minute submersion in 3 feet of water. And what that translates to in real life is that you have peace of mind around water. You don't need to worry if you get a little splash here and there near your outdoor pool or in the bathtub or in the kitchen. This thing can handle it. Even with that IPX7 rating, I personally would not bring this speaker outdoors or to the beach with me because it's not dust resistant. I view this thing as an indoor speaker. This thing is deceptively large, just larger than I had anticipated. While it is portable, it's not small enough for me to bring on outdoor adventures. And because of that lack of dust resistance and its larger size, it feels right at home, never leaving the house. This thing is elegant, it's a really nice mesh of tech and decor, and it can really blend in your setup. Enough about looks and use case though, on to the most important thing, the sound quality. I honestly didn't know what to expect from this speaker. Right out of the box, it sounded great. By default, it has the spatial audio and the bass up feature turned on, and it sounds really good. The bass and the sub bass are thumping, and I absolutely love that, but your neighbors probably won't, and that's where the bass up button comes in. If you push it, you'll get an instant cut to the low end, and that low rumbling sound that you feel in your bones goes away, and your neighbors will appreciate you a lot more. Although I'm a huge bass guy, I understand the need for this kind of function because I live in a very small apartment with paper thin walls. But if you want the best listening experience, leave this feature on and enjoy. The spatial audio feature is one of the unique features of this speaker, and honestly, it's its biggest selling point. It's very similar to the way that Apple does spatial audio with its AirPods and HomePods. I remember when this feature first came out, I wasn't the biggest fan because honestly, it made songs sound worse. But that was a couple years ago, the technology has evolved, and I can say this sounds really good. It can really elevate the listening experience, allowing for a larger soundstage and better sound separation. The spatial audio feature is powered by this upward firing grille in the middle of the speaker, and it gives it this very airy, grand sound. Soundcore's spatial audio algorithms might not be as good as Apple's, but this thing sounds damn good. I'm so glad this company is innovating and pushing the limits, especially at this price point. I've absolutely been loving it for music, but because the spatial audio works with all audio, I've been using it as a soundbar as well. In my tiny apartment, this thing packs a punch, and it just makes the watching experience so much more immersive. Even if you don't want a Bluetooth speaker to listen to music, I think this is an amazing sound system to plug into your TV. I just use my TV as an external monitor that I plug into my laptop via HDMI, and then I plug the 3.5mm jack into the speaker, and voila, I have a budget sound system that sounds amazing. What I love about this speaker is that you can customize it even more with an EQ in the app. It comes with a couple presets, but you can create your own EQ as well. I'm a huge sucker for EQ customization. I love customizing my XM4 and XM5 headphones and just dialing in that perfect sound for me. And this app is even better, giving you more bands to play with and more flexibility, so you can truly dial in that sound that you want for what you're listening to. You can even set multiple presets, so you can change them based on what genre of music you're listening to, or if you're like me, you can have one for when you're using it as a soundbar. The second unique feature of this speaker is that it's hi-fi certified using the LDAC codec. Now I could go on a very long rant about how codecs don't actually matter for the vast majority of people who are listening, but as a tech nerd, I'm very glad they put this feature in here. For people with compatible devices and high quality lossless audio, this has a higher Bluetooth bandwidth, so you're gonna get the most out of your lossless audio. This thing gets loud. Right out of the box with the default EQ, this thing didn't get as loud as I thought it would, but after I EQ'd it, it was much more in line with my other speakers and what I was expecting. Now it's time for some audio sampling. Obviously, you're not going to hear what I'm hearing because you're recording through a microphone and then through YouTube compression, but this is the best I can do and it'll give you an idea of what this speaker sounds like. This thing has no distortion at higher volumes, but you're never gonna need to test that because I've only been listening to it at 40% max because this thing is loud. I think any louder than that just gets a little bit much. All that being said, if you turn off the spatial audio and cut the bass, I don't think the sound quality of this speaker is anything to write home about. It's fairly average and there are better sounding speakers for cheaper. You really need the spatial audio and bass on in order for this speaker to sound amazing. Battery life is rated for 12 hours, but obviously your mileage will vary depending on volume, bass, spatial audio, and LDAC, as those are more battery intensive. I think that's a very solid battery life for a device of this size with this output, and with that USB-C charging, you can either leave it plugged in or you can charge it fairly quickly. Now with all these great features, is this speaker worth it? I think if you want this feature-rich package, you really can't go wrong, especially with the early bird pricing of $150, this thing is basically a no-brainer. Even at its future full price of $200, I think this is still a really good deal. There isn't really anything else on the market with this feature set at this price point, so it's hard to compare, but I will be comparing it to the JBL Charge 5 in a future video, so if you want to see that, be sure to subscribe. But that's it from me. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Are you excited about this? Will you be buying one? Be sure to use the link in my description if you are. My name is Mark Steiner, and I'll see you next time.